Welcome to Forever Exiled, the Path of Exile Podcast. I am Justin, aka Tags.
Oh, you mixed it up. I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
This is episode 59 of Forever Exiled, the Path of Exile Podcast. If you missed the first part, this is episode 59. One away from 60.
That's it.
That's
a nice
something.
number. I like round numbers.
Yep. Round numbers are pretty cool. They're not the same as whatever that other thing is you told us. Those were...
Oh, rep digits.
Rep...
Yeah.
I love that you remember it.
Yeah, well, that's because I forgot and humiliated myself. I will never forget what a rep digit is. It's like making a mistake in front of a classroom of people. You will never forget that subject again.
The one thing that's kind of annoying about that is every 10th episode is going to be annoying as hell with you. Because 66, we're going to hear about it. 77, we're going to hear about it.
Well, that's every 11.
Just wait till 1,111th.
Oh, my goodness. Swing.
Yeah, that's all we're talking about.
I always liked the round numbers, like in sports when I was playing sports. But, you know, things like 88 was taken by Lindros, 99 was taken by Gretzky.
You mean for when you were going to go pro, right?
You're referencing baseball
pro,
not hockey pro. I can't skate. I can't skate, eh? And so anyway, but I like the round numbers, but I didn't want to, funny enough, didn't want to do the rep digit thing because all the cool kids are trying to be like all the cool superstars and trying to do rep digits. So I went with 36. I like the round numbers, but they had the gaps in there. So it wasn't like totally round, like eights and stuff. So 36. Get it? Anyway.
Big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. If you're curious what our Patreon is, it gives you access to, I mean, obviously a plethora of stuff. First off, After Dark. It's the podcast after the podcast. You get a card in the mail and a sticker. And then there's a bunch of other stuff at some of our other tiers. But if you're curious what our Patreon is, you can find the information down below. Put a big shout out. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the show. How's your week, Ty?
When you hear it's Christmas-ish, right? 'Tis a season. Merry Christmas. It's December, right? I can say it now. Getting there. Okay. Is it weird if I say Merry Christmas? It's the,
like right now
11th.
on December
the 11th. We're
Calm
14
down.
days away.
We got 2 weeks away. Okay, exactly.
So, when you hear the song Ave Maria, do you think of Christmas?
Dude, you can't bring up a weird comment like that while I'm taking a drink. I almost just spit out my water. What?
You know, the old song Ave Maria.
Yeah, I know the song.
What do you think about when that song comes on the radio?
I know the song.
I know. It's Silver Baller montage time. It is Hitman all the way through. So it's so like it's just nonstop Christian or not. Sorry, it's nonstop Christmas music now. And when I listen to the radio, right, like I'm listening to the Christian station, I just want the Jesus music playing all the time. No, not during Christmas. Ironically, I always want the Jesus music to be playing or a sermon. Like I like that kind of stuff. But the second, Christmas comes around, it's just Christmas music. I'm like, no, it's off. It just drives me nuts. But when I hear Ave Maria, I don't think Christmas. It's Hitman through and through. And all I can think about are like assassination montages with my 2 silver ballers. Anyway, you don't think that? You're big into Hitman. You and I both really like the game.
Yeah, Hitman at the beginning, like the first 1 or 2 were good.
Yeah,
I don't remember how many there are.
I seem to remember us playing them together. Anyway,
I like to either stealth up and stab them in the neck or shoot them. I love snipers, and I don't want anything else. I don't want an automatic gun. I don't want to have nothing else. I want to stab them in the neck or shoot them from far away. That's it. They went away from that. You and your Google.
Seriously, you don't have to say, you could just be like, hi, Justin, how was your day? And Google will be like, what? Were you talking to me? Sure, I'll add that to your grocery list. I'll make another grocery list called grocery list. So you have 2 grocery lists. Anyway, all week I've been hearing Ave Maria and I've been secretly thinking about assassinating complete strangers just for fun.
Oh, it's the best.
Have you ever heard of toy traders?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so apparently, my wife just went today. It has everything. It is everything, including a full-size Fallout character, massive aliens collector things. Imagine your house decked out in that. A normally priced Rogue and Wolverine X-Men action figure.
You found one. Sweet.
Well, and yeah, don't ruin things. What do you think this is?
Oh
now
my God, I have to bleep you out again.
So anyway, no, but it was awesome. We found a store, even though it was like 2 cities away, that actually had legit pricing on stuff. So it was pretty sweet. Now, speaking of aliens, did you know that Disney now owns FX?
I feel like I heard that. Disney owns like everything.
Well, it seems like it. Now, obviously, the Fox, when they had that merger, it had everything. Like the whole bunch of stuff was in. And I don't know if it was from the Fox merger or what, but FX is now a part of Disney and Disney Plus.
Yep.
So that means that Disney Plus is getting the new Aliens TV show. Okay. So there are very few series of whatever medium they're in that I'm married to. Path of Exile, right? Love Lord of the Rings. The book series that I don't want to spoil, right? I'm big into that. Anything Dracula things, pirate things, Splinter Cell, Hitman, and Aliens. Also, Aliens and Aliens versus Predator and Predator. That's all one big thing because of the Aliens versus Predator movies and Prometheus. Anyway, love it. So my wife went to that store today. I'm excited to find an excuse to go to that store once COVID's gone. Oh my goodness, that is going to be where I spend all my money. It's going to be. So you haven't been?
No, I don't think so. A full-size Fallout character like the Pip-Boy or like an actual dude in armor or what?
No, the thumbs up guy.
Oh, okay.
In the blue suit. Like,
yep.
So yeah, I guess the guy that's on your Pip-Boy.
The guy that's on the Pip-Boy, yeah.
And I never know what to say because isn't Fallout Boy some sort of band or something? So every time I say, hey, the Fallout Boy, I'm talking video games.
Yeah.
So anyway, a full-size one. It was bigger than my wife.
Huh.
Big thumbs up. I'd love that. Put it right in the front freaking door. Right outside. Anyway, that was my week. Cool. It was a week of discovery for me. I feel so much wiser now that I know that Disney owns FX. Aliens is getting a TV show.
And there's a store.
Superstore. Yeah. And I'm secretly thinking about being a hitman every Christmas season thanks to Ave Maria. I think that was from Blood Money, the fourth one. Hitman. Did you have a week?
I don't think I played that one. Yeah, I had a great one.
The Hitman story blew up in a good way. It was Absolution where they screwed it up, but Hitman, Blood Money, awesome story.
I don't honestly I remember the story because of the movie.
Oh, don't even. No,
I mean, it was so good, right? That movie.
I was
great.
I was so excited for both versions of the movie, and both were brutal.
Fantastic.
Oh. Oh, there's so much good storytelling in those movies or in the games.
I know.
Oh, don't even.
It had one of the most awkward sex scenes ever in that Hitman movie. It was awesome.
And you don't even Agent 47. Okay. So it's like Lord of the Rings movie. Moving.
Isn't it my turn?
Tell me, yes, go. Tell me about your week. Don't even get me started on my favorite stories getting turned into crappy movie stories.
My week was really good, but I am so done. Like I want free time. I want Justin time. I want tags time. I want to play games. Work is up the wall busy, and I'm kind of done with it. My shirt says I hate people. It pretty much sums up my feelings right now. It was fine. It was just really busy. So a couple things. First, on a slightly serious note, and then on a fun note. Serious note, though, I have a lot of people in our life that we know. We've been talking with people in game, out of game, and whatever. But I know this is a really tough time of year for a lot of people, even for family on my end. A lot of people struggle when you get into the cold and the winter, and especially holiday season. A lot of people don't really, there's a lot of people who don't like it. This is sort of the worst time of the year. For me personally, the day that this podcast will come out is actually going to be the 10-year anniversary of losing one of my best friends, and somebody else who listens, his cousin, and it was to suffering through mental health, and so I just wanted to take a quick second. We've talked about this before, but if you are struggling out there, just know that there are a lot of people who will talk, who want to talk. It's definitely not a faux pas thing to talk about anymore. Like it definitely seemed to be if you go back 10 years. But just reach out, talk to somebody. Don't struggle by yourself, because it's not an easy thing to go through when you're struggling like that. And there's a ton of people out there that will talk. And there's always people out there who care. So
always. You'd be surprised when you start reaching out how many people will love you just because they want to love you. And keep in mind as well, like, don't think that's specific to one type of circumstance. No matter what you're struggling with, reach out. Now, on the other side, though, if you find that there's people online, on Reddit, on forums, friends even, that are struggling with whether it's COVID or a lot of the other stuff, remember that people are lashing out. People are having a rough time, and giving them a hard time back isn't going to help them or make them better. Do your best to be kind if you can. Do your best to be kind if you can, because we're all going through rough stuff. Some people more than others.
It's a crappy time of year for a lot of people. And so just, give a shit about the people around you and check in on those that maybe you haven't talked to in a while.
Good call.
Because some people are chilling by themselves. And it's weird because we here in BC have just gotten new restrictions that are going to make this coming holiday just garbage, in my opinion. We're told to restrict and we're going to have to stay in the house, and they don't want you having family over. They don't want you going to see family. And that's a tough time of year to tell people you got to be by yourself. And so anyway, just reach out. If you know somebody who's maybe having a tough time, I don't know, you can't take them out for a beer, but you can at least say hi. Maybe play some games, that kind of thing. Now, let's flip the switch. Did you know that tomorrow, Saturday, December 12th, marks 1 year of Forever Exiled?
Tomorrow?
Yep. Our first episode
we started
released
in December?
December 12th, 2020.
I feel like I should have known
2019.
Oh, happy anniversary.
1 year.
I didn't get you anything.
Isn't
Did you
that
get
awesome?
me something?
No, but I have a blizzard coming, so I'm excited for me.
What is a blizzard?
I love that
you still get Slurpees and blizzards.
I don't get Slurpees. I don't get Slurpees. Slurpees, I can't. No, I haven't had a Slurpee
4 weeks ago.
Nope. I haven't had a Slurpee all year. I literally can't.
Even.
No.
If it was January 2nd, I'd believe that you hadn't had a Slurpee all year.
I
don't
swear
believe
on my
you saying
life
that in
I have
December.
not had one this year. No, I just can't. I don't like them. But yeah, 1 year.
That's
Crazy.
awesome.
Yeah. Our first episode with that terrible, terrible intro. Cue intro now. You're welcome. We just let you hear like 30 seconds of it. Not even. We'll go with 10 seconds because it's a little rough. It's a little rough. And we literally just read through notes. We read through the 3.8 notes. I don't remember 3.9. I don't remember, but it was bad. And if you heard that episode and you're hearing this episode, you are a superstar.
We want to give you a star if we could. We would give you a star. Name a star after you.
Yeah, we will. You tell us your name, we'll name a star after you. You'll get no proof, but we promise a star up there will be named after you. You might share it.
The middle star in the Orion belt is yours. You can all share it.
That's right. Anytime you look at it, we're thinking of you. But anyway, yeah, 1 year. That's awesome.
Congratulations, bud. I've had a lot of fun.
To us.
And
it has been fun.
Yeah, I'm really glad that it's we've been able to stick through it and our schedules have worked out.
1 whole year.
Yeah. That's
impressive.
Crazy.
I didn't think I'd last like a month with you.
Well,
it was
you don't have to smell me. This COVID stuff kept us on the screen, so my BO didn't get in the way.
That's definitely true.
I guess, retire on top? Last eepisode? 59. Been a pleasure.
59,
Bye.
that's the number.
That
was the number we were aiming for. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. I wanted to look it up, and I was hoping you didn't know, and you didn't.
Didn't. I kind of feel embarrassed or ashamed.
Yeah, you kind of should. Okay, so my week, other than work though, so I played a little bit more of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I really, really like that game. It's really good. The story is super good. The gameplay's fine. Okay. It's not repetitive, which I appreciate. And so I played that, and then I swapped over to Cyberpunk when Cyberpunk came out. Now, last night when I went to bed, I said to my wife with like a mopey face that I was sad because I just bought a new game that I've really been wanting to play, and I've been able to turn it on once. Cyberpunk has been turned on once. I got to play it for a bit, which was good, but I just can't find free time. I just don't have any time. And so yeah, we're gonna end this podcast 15 minutes in. Thanks for joining us.
I want to play my game.
I just want to play. Anyway, yeah, I played Cyberpunk. We're gonna talk a little bit about Cyberpunk because it's a big deal. I think that's pretty much it for my week.
Busy, and all you could think about the things was you could only think of the things you couldn't do.
Yeah, I didn't play PoE until today. We'll talk about Mayhem as well, but I didn't get into Mayhem. Yeah. And then Endless Delve starts today, which is the 11th of December. So I'm sure a lot of people are playing that. And we're going to talk about that later too. So yeah, that was my week was pretty much that. What's that?
Oh, no, it's okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you were done.
Rude.
You just take forever talking all the time. So got a question for you because you knew Cyberpunk was coming out.
I did.
But
I'd heard about it.
You bought 2 filler games in the meantime.
3. It was kind of stupid. Oh yeah, you're right too. Okay.
So yeah, because no, not dumb. Well, maybe Valhalla, but
no.
So you bought a PS
PlayStation 5. Yep.
Yeah, and Demon Souls.
Yep.
And then because you just couldn't stop thinking about the multiplayer, the co-op of it, Valhalla filled that void.
Yep.
But you obviously couldn't finish Valhalla because of Cyberpunk's release date. Do you know how much money you spent on video games the last 3 weeks?
Now, nobody's counting, but the thing is that I actually would love to finish Valhalla. Like I will finish that game because I am really enjoying the storyline. But it is true. I probably could have waited on Cyberpunk. Like it's not like it's a rush to play it. I'm not the type of person that's in a rush to get there first and like whatever, finish it. I don't know, because it's not even a multiplayer game. So Valhalla, though, the storyline I really do like, but it's so big. That game is massive. Like it's really big. I haven't even gone back to Europe, or where is it? I don't know. Wherever the starting land you start in, I haven't even gone back there. And there's a whole section there.
Their games have been incrementally bigger ever since AC3, right? Because then they did Black Sails for AC4, I think it was, and things just got huge once you could start doing your own water.
Yeah, so I am looking forward to like finishing it, and I definitely will. Cyberpunk will take up a bit of my time just because I want to try it. I'm not one of those people who's been like sitting back waiting since 2013 for this game to come out. Mm-hmm. I was excited about it like 3 or 4 months ago. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm gonna play it. So it wasn't like I've been waiting and anticipating this game. That being said, there's no game that's like that for me.
Except for maybe a PoE League.
Yeah, but a PoE League, about like 3 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
So it's not like I sit there and just think about what's coming next.
Mm-hmm. Now, if Cyberpunk didn't get released just recently, we would be talking about, and our previous episodes would have been about 3.13, but today would have been the 3.13 launch, right? So I do have a couple questions about Cyberpunk before we get into what has been instead of 3.13. You said you got to play a decent amount of time on the one session that you got to play. What is it? A decent, nice open world storytelling? Like, did they do a good job with it? I've heard very mixed reviews, though the reviews online are all amazing. I've heard mixed reviews from people that have actually played it in my small little circle.
So have you heard nothing but positive things online? Because I've heard a very mixed bag.
I've heard mixed, not on official reviews. Like if you go to Metacritic, it's 90 plus. I think 100. I think there were 100 hundreds before the game was even released, type of thing.
Yeah, I've never paid attention to that stuff, so it's hard for me to say. I can't. I have read stuff on Twitter, and I've seen a little bit, but so here's what I'll say: it has bugs, 100%. There's like the dumbest things happening in that game, where characters, like I had a character that was like standing up in their car. It looked hilarious. And I've had just very weird. I've not had anything though that's game breaking that it couldn't continue the game. They were bad bugs. Yeah. Like audio was weird in a couple spots. I'm trying to think specifically what else. Cause I remember there were definitely bugs. 100% there were bugs. None of them though took me out of the game. None of them. That's good. I didn't crash or anything. I'm trying to think, like, I'm not super deep into the story right now anyway. So it's not like it could take me. I don't get immersed. You know how people talk about how they get like
Yeah.
I'm just immersed in this game, and that's not me. I'm literally just trying to play as much as I can before I get an email bugging me about something else.
Yeah.
I don't have time to get like actually immersed in the game. That world though is insane.
How so?
The city, the Night City.
Is that the name of the city?
That's that's the name of the city is. It is ginormous, and it's so alive. Like it's really cool. It's one of the coolest world things I've seen, and I'm only like I don't know 4 or 5 hours into playing it, but it's massive.
That's
and
cool.
I think there's a whole area even outside of the city, because you can start out as like a nomad that starts outside the city. So the starting stories are different based on what you start as. Now, I feel old if I say some of the things I'm thinking.
Go on.
Well, I want to play the game. I want to do the story. I want to get the guns. I want to level up. I want to shoot people. I want to drive. I don't care what my penis looks like. Why is that an option? I just don't get it.
It is?
It's an actual option in there. It's like one of the it's one
like
of the
character creation.
Like here, pick color of your eyes, pick the shape of your nose, and here's your 3 options for your dick. I don't get it.
Crazy.
I just don't.
There must be a go time scene later on.
Well, but
my mind's telling
maybe
me no.
I don't understand what it is. So that part, it just seems stupid to me. Like it has no bearing for me on the game at all. And it's very
what if you were
weird.
A female character?
Well,
are you doing the bottom or the top?
No, you can. I think one of the options is you can like pick between 2 dicks or a vagina. Like okay. That's apparently there's variants to dicks, but not to vaginas. So
all the same.
Yeah, exactly. So I just find that part really weird to me, and especially as you're scrolling through trying to pick your character, and all of a sudden your dude just like his clothes strip away and he's standing there naked, and you're like, like what? Why is this a choice? Why does this? What's happening here? So anyway, that part to me just seems very weird. I don't understand it, but the game itself, it seems really cool. There are some, hopefully, like I know there was a 6 gig patch that I had as I loaded the game.
Sounds like launch day. Yeah.
Yep. And it's really hard to, I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to buy a car, because you don't make much money that I found so far. And the cars are very expensive. So I'm not sure if there was like a balance thing that has to be sorted out, but I also don't care. Like I'm going to play the game. I don't care what reviews are. I don't care what people think. I'll choose if I like it or not. So far in the little bit I've gotten to play, really cool, very, very big world. I do kind of wish it had more of the Witcher style where I could swap to third person if I wanted to.
Yeah, they got rid of that a year ago.
Yeah,
I remember reading that.
You know, the weird thing with doing first person for literally everything, that's why I didn't even care when I created the character. I just picked one of their presets, and then I scrolled through the options, and that's when I was like, oh, okay, there's one. Well, that's a weird option. But you're first person the whole time. You're not even part of cutscenes.
There's got to be at least one or two
tons of cutscenes, but it's not often where I'm seeing my own player in those cutscenes. So I don't care what the person looks like. But gameplay wise, really fun. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I just haven't been able to get a ton of time to go on and play it. And I'm not going to watch other people play it because I don't want to get spoiled. I'd like to actually
totally
like experience the world myself. But the problem though is now I didn't care about Mayhem, which was great for playing Valhalla, great for playing Cyberpunk, but I do care about Endless Delve. So now I'm kind of like, and the only saving grace for me is GGG made a very silly decision of making Flashback 3 weeks, and I couldn't care less. So that means I'll have some time to play more of it. But
well, maybe it wasn't silly. Maybe it was so that they're like you were talking about burnout before a league. Maybe they put the more apathetic league longer and the one closer to the league end, so that
maybe we'll talk about that when we get into the Mayhem and Endless. But
fine, way to bring it up and then not talk about it. Way to go. I don't want to talk about it either.
It's just teasing you.
Oh, good. I'm excited.
Yeah. Look, Cyberpunk to me, I think it's fine. I think it's good. There are bugs. They're silly bugs. They weren't like wrecking the game for me bugs. And yeah, I saw negative stuff about it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I feel bad if somebody's experienced nothing but negative stuff. I know there's
Console
been a lot of
apparently got the crap kicked out of it. Apparently it's only PC.
Why did they release it on old gen consoles like PS4? I get it. They're not the newest. I don't mean to say that in a condescending way to the PS4 and the Xbox One, but they are last gen consoles. This game is a monster to run. What?
Oh,
I mean, I don't know if the bugs. Yeah. Well, I don't know if the bugs are related to the hardware or if there's actual like stuff within the game, but there's no way it can look like what it's supposed to look like on a PC. And our buddy asked me about, did I get it on PC or PS5? And I was like, oh, I have the PlayStation 5, but that is literally because of Demon Souls, like stuff that's specific to the PlayStation 5. And I only got Valhalla because I was enjoying the chill of just having a controller in my hand and playing a game. And that being said, I actually think Cyberpunk probably plays a bit better with a controller than it does with the keyboard and mouse. And that's from somebody, because there's no twitch shooting. You're not like having to, you don't have to be like super fast with the mouse. But yeah, I cannot imagine that game. I heard somebody at EB Games today say, oh, can I get Cyberpunk for PS4? And I was like, no, don't do it. So I don't know
about how long ago they started making that game though, right? They didn't know when the next gen consoles were coming out when they started making all of their decisions. But at the same time, you go through so many different decision-making processes and change the game so many different times in a long development process that it is interesting that they must have been really desperate for this Christmas.
Sure.
Otherwise, you're waiting for the next major guaranteed huge amount of sales is next, like one more year. And they probably just weren't willing to do that.
Their delay to this release was because they said they wanted to make sure they released on all platforms at the same time. That was important to them. Right. I'm really curious what was happening during that time, because as I played through the game, I was like, they probably could have delayed this a little bit longer. I mean, and for me, I don't care because I didn't care when it came out. But some of these glitches, there's no way normal QA missed these. There's just no way. Like
it's the 100% crazy rushed, ship it.
Yep.
We're hoping for that 6 gig patch to fix most. And and you're relying on hype. Apparently their day one sales already paid for the entire developmental process. It was that hyped. But I rated, after one of my broadcasts, I rated Tarky and he was playing Cyberpunk. And so, after you raid, just in case they, say something or whatever, you stick around for a few minutes. And it was nice to see him. And I was watching him play for a bit. And now the game doesn't interest me at all. I can't do first person anymore with my concussion stuff. And I'll get into it in a sec. And then we're totally getting into PoE right away. But I was looking at it, and everything that was in the world, like buildings, cars, the world itself looked amazing. Everything you could, like people looked like garbage.
Oh,
like I saw him hacking at people. Everything looked just, and it's no diss to his system.
Yeah.
It's just, and because I saw other broadcasts as well, I was looking around, I was looking at videos, and it's just people looked like garbage. I'm watching people like interact with someone in a tower, a reporter, and like I won't tell you details because you don't want it spoiled. I saw people walking around with like a melee weapon, and it's the first person melee style, so it's just this flat 2D camera going whack, whack, whack. But these people look two-dimensional. They're laying on the ground. They look like paper cutouts with blood around them. Yeah, it looked really weird.
I'll have to show you mine because I definitely did not see that. Mine actually looked really good.
And maybe it was just that area. Maybe it's like a high density area or something. And so they had to cut something out so the frame rate was good. I don't know. Anyway, I hope it gets better because everybody except for me is stoked about it. And especially one of our buddies, the one that you were talking to, I really hope it's good for his sake because he's a console player. And he's been excited about this since the dawn of time, plays The Witcher nonstop. So
it's a fine game. But the thing, I guess, here's why it was good for me. I didn't care. It's not been hyped up. It's not been like this thing that's lived in my head for years. I knew that it was hyped, but I didn't hype it. It wasn't something, I was no more excited for it than PoE 3.13. Like I knew I was going to play it, but it wasn't, I didn't go into it expecting this to be like I think a lot of people were thinking, oh, this is the game of the year. This is amazing. This is and I do feel bad for CD Projekt Red because, and it's their own fault, 100% their own fault. But when you build up a game like this, you will never deliver ever. It's not possible.
Right.
You're
when
going to let people
POT2
down.
is going to fix everything.
Yeah, I don't say that.
Right. When CD Projekt like just hypes it to this extent, you got a lot to live up to. And
you'll just never do it, and that's fine.
But you know what, though? Once the hype's done, it's an amazing game, right? Like the bugs will come out in 2 months, all this kind of stuff. When all that hype is gone and it's just, this has been out for 2 months, here's another game. It's amazing. I mean, imagine getting this like in Games for Gold or something like that in 3 years. Oh, you're going to be blown away at your discount. Now, I used to be in love with these style games, played the crap out of The Witcher 2. I love the Dragon Age games. I used to be crazy immersed. I would like spend my time. I would read every dialogue option very carefully. I'd go over them a second time. I'd be scared like, okay, which one do I really want to say just in case I don't get the option to come back to the screen? I used to just be so enthralled with worlds and stories. And this is now where we finally segue into Path of Exile. But the thing that really, I think, turned me away from that was Dark Souls. And I know that's not Path of Exile, but Dark Souls and PoE have very similar storytelling to me. And I've fallen in love with it. You don't have to care about the story to love the game and to play the game and to get into the game. You don't have to know anything about the lore or dialogue or characters. It doesn't matter what you choose with your NPCs. It doesn't impact your game at all. And I absolutely love that. Even with that choice you have to make in Act 8 or 9 in Path of Exile, where you're choosing between, is it Lonnie or who's the guy that always sits cross-legged?
Tasumi or something?
Yeah. Even no matter who you choose to rule Highgate, has nothing to do with anything. And at first that was disappointing to me, but at the end of the day, I'm like, that's great. That's awesome because it doesn't matter. I'm going to get my skill point. I'm moving on. Yeah. And well, no, it's always him because he's a little bit more mystical. And I like that. I think mystical leaders
for
are
me
cool.
because she's closer.
She's a vendor too. It's easy. But and so Dark Souls really introduced that concept to me and made me fall in love with it. And it was only after Dark Souls, I think I played PoE before I even touched Dark Souls back a lot. Well, maybe not, but anyway, it really helped me fall in love with Path of Exile. And I love the Path of Exile storytelling. And I really hope that kind of, not apathetic storytelling, but the storytelling where you can choose to pay attention to it or not, but it not actually having to impact your game. I really hope that continues to PoE too. Really hope so.
Yeah, I'm fine with both. I don't mind either. I did find, so it was actually playing, as I played more of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that I started to have to tell myself, like, stop over analyzing your choices because you're just slowing it down. Just make the decision that you want to make, and whatever happens from that decision, because especially because I'm playing it on a console where I don't have F5 and F9 to quick save, quick load, quick save, quick load. I just started going, whatever. Here's my decision. I'm going to do whatever I want. Yep.
When there's no way to go back and reload, I find the game so much more fun. You end up doing what you want, but it's apathetic, but you do what you want and you see how it goes, and that's great.
Cyberpunk has F5, has a quick save and quick load.
It's going to take you forever. Ooh, what happens? Ooh, what happens? Ooh, what happens? So you played PoE this week. A little bit. Impa. What'd you do? Did you play after noon our time?
I played like 2 hours before we got on. I was like, oh crap, Endless Delve came out. Everybody's talking about it in Discord. I want to check it out. And I don't want to talk too much about Endless Delve because we're going to actually talk about it as a topic shortly, but that was literally my PoE week. I watched you play some Mayhem after the podcast last week, as well as I think on Monday I was watching you play.
It was amazing, right?
I mean, the league looks fine. Your gameplay,
okay. I'm amazing. No, I got it. I got it. You don't want to build
actually want to know about your PoE week, but I just need to quickly. I need to grab my Blizzard, so just give me half a second.
After these messages, he'll be right back. Oh man, I totally remember those those Saturday morning cartoons with like Darkwing Duck and Tailspin. I forget which one was first. Chippendale Rescue Rangers. And whatever channel that was, it always had that dog that was near a fire hydrant that was saying after these messages, it'd be right back. It was like spray painted on a brick wall, all graffiti like. Can you remember that? Anyone? No? No cream? Okay, no cream. Nah, those are good mornings. They're redoing Darkwing Duck, if you didn't know. Oh, can't wait for that. That seriously, I'm watching that again with my kids, and it is freaking hilarious for parents. I watch other old school cartoons like Ricky the Raccoon, or no, the Raccoons. And oh my goodness, that is brutal. I couldn't finish it. But Darkwing Duck, love the old ones. Can't wait for the new ones. Oh, look who it is.
Hey, brother.
Hermano. Remember those ones where he thinks Hermano's the guy's name?
Yeah, the name. What's the... Oh, I can't remember his name, but they... Jason Bateman and...
Job and Buster?
Job. No, but like, what's the guy's name that plays Job? He's Canadian. Plays Batman, too.
He loves doing the hockey references. Had the show.
The two of them have a podcast with one of the guys from Will and Grace. It's actually really good. Will Arnett, yeah. And they have a podcast called Smartless. It's really good. Cool. Yeah. Anyway,
I'll check it out.
So tell me about your PoE week.
How do I do this? So fall makes hideouts. High fall made us a fantastic, because we talk about lawn so much. It's winter time for all you lawn lovers. Just in case you're not in our area and know what hemisphere we're in, it's winter here, the cold type of winter. So lawn talk's probably going to be on probation, or hibernating, I guess I should say, for a couple more months. And so the fall, with all the lawn talk we were doing in the past, made Justin and I some sweet, nice, amazing, luscious lawn, hideouts in PoE. Even said Forever Exiled on them with some nice self promo. That was pretty sweet. So anyway, that got my brain going, right? Because I got that on PC. So thank you, Fall, for that. But it got my brain going because I need a hideout on console too. And I love the Forever Exiled idea. I love the lawn idea. But then I came out with even more ideas, and this really stressful, like, oh my, I think I remember saying this, but the Black Friday sales always make me, it's when Black Friday starts and I start seeing all the sales, I'm like, oh yeah, what do I need? And I start going through and I make my personal list of things that I should really upgrade or get. And then it's a week after Black Friday's done that I'm like, okay, I got my list. I'm ready to go. And of course, that's not anywhere to be found. That list isn't anywhere to be found next year, Black Friday. So anyway, he got me going, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, right. So I'm starting to buy all the $1 or $2 pets when they're on sale, right, through Path of Exile. And I'm like, wouldn't it be awesome if I didn't bring pets with me anymore and they weren't distracting me anymore while I'm playing in the game? They just stayed in my hideout. Crazy, busy, insect-filled hideout. It'd be awesome. But it clashes with the lawn. The grass is long. And so those small little Weta-Pets that are 10 cents when they're on sale, you can't see them. And I'm like, well, that's just unacceptable. But I have to have the lawn. That's a great idea. But I have to have the Weta-Pets. So I actually spent a good session of my time. One of my 2 Path of Exile sessions this week was just me brainstorming, testing, and figuring it. Because you come up with these ideas, but then you're like, oh, I can't find that thingy that would be perfect for this. I don't know where to find it. Don't know, like how it's all laid out. It's hard to find the master. It's hard to find, is that a bush? Is it a plant? Does it even look the way I want it to? You interact with it. So anyway, I finally did it, finished it, have a hideout. And did you know that there's a Dark Souls reference in one of the things? Who sells it? Frick, I forget who sells it. I think it's Nico. There's an ashen bonfire hideout decoration. Did you know?
No.
It's literally, it's a sword. It looks like, I don't know, the Claymore or the Bastard sword from just a normal short sword from Dark Souls. But it's in an ash pile, and it's an ashen bonfire. So I made all my NPCs huddle around ashen bonfires, and then I took the smoke and I put it there. So it was as Dark
I love
Souls
that this
as
is what you spent an entire session of playing PoE.
I could have played. And funny enough, my second session, I also didn't play because I did inventory. I was too full. I had to get rid of all my old influenced items. I finally did it though. Well, almost. But it's like I have 16 items left. I did a ton. It was awesome. But anyway, so now I have 2 new rules. Well, kind of 3. All my pets have to be in my hideout, and you have to be able to see them. And I have to have a lawn, and there has to be somehow a Dark Souls theme. None of them really interact well together, but I think I figured out a way to do it. Also, I have a nice laminate floor in my hideout. Looks really nice. Doesn't match anything like my lawn or the bonfires, but it's nice. So that was my PoE week per se.
Mine was better than yours.
It was. But well, no, that's not true, because I also did touch Mayhem when we were hanging out together. I played, got 50. We'll talk about that later. And I played some Endless Delve today. I think I had an hour and a bit before I had to pick the kids up. And then, of course, my day's shot until we start the podcast. But I still had people watching me and interacting, and it was a lot of fun. And I had some people watching while I was playing Divinity or Dark Souls with a few people as well. So I had what I'm trying to remember as somebody that only has a small, I love every single person that watches, and it's a lot of fun to see the same names show up every time you're broadcasting. And I like to raid. I'm learning that that's the new Twitch, or not new term, but it's a Twitch term. When you raid someone, it's like you give somebody all your viewers type of thing. And I think that's really cool. And so I'm trying to remember to do that. And I'm trying to do it with people that don't have the thousands. I'm not trying to do it to people like Mathel and that have thousands of people watching them every time they sign on. So I'm looking for people with, 50 viewers or less. And the Twitch list, it's huge, right? There's thousands of people broadcasting. So I don't want to scroll for forever. So I'm going through and I'm trying to find someone with 50 or less views. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let's try this. They look like they're going to be on for a little bit longer. So I raided someone called Perry the Pig, and I've watched them a few times now in the background, which is quite nice. And I feel like I'm being helpful, throwing my few viewers at them and having a good time and, keeping the community good. This person's crushing the game. Perry the Pig's level 97 and easily going on level 98, just flying through the game. No problem, Bob. Talking about the game like he said it memorized for the last 20 years. And I'm like, oh, probably didn't even notice me. I'm not doing it for a device, but I'm like trying to, and anyway, they're just crushing the game. The next person later on that I raid, Iron versus Wild. They're at depths like 6,500, 7,000 on solo self-found with a crazy like frost wall build where it's just frost wall everywhere, killing everything. And they just stand there. I felt so small, not like from a viewer place, but just like it was awesome.
But do you guys want to see my hideout or my stash tabs?
That's right. You want to look where I put my map device. Hey, look, I just vendored a whole bunch of level 70 influenced items. You have those? You know what those are? So anyway, it was kind of funny, like the level they were on compared to the level that I can get to type of thing. Like I'm happy being at Delve level 300. I'm like, that's really good for a casual player. See somebody like just flying through level 6,500 in Delve, solo self-found, getting pissed when they die because they're not expecting it. So anyway, I thought it was pretty funny.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into this week in PoE. No patches. Not a surprise.
Well, no. Heist accidentally ended.
That was hilarious.
Was fun to watch in retrospect. I wasn't a part of it, so hopefully nothing major happened. It doesn't seem like anything major happened. It was just a minor thing, but Heist accidentally ended. I guess maybe I don't know what. Maybe you don't reset your timer or whatever. You extend it after you've changed your dates. I don't know. But it was kind of funny to see. And then
you just end a league. I love that. Yeah. Accidentally end a league.
Yeah. You get the timer and then the league actually ends. You're like,
what the heck, guys?
Mayhem ended.
Yeah.
Delve started.
All right. So what do you think of Mayhem?
I loved Mayhem.
Okay.
I absolutely loved Mayhem. It's slow, but it's busy because there's so many instances. Now, for me, until I get to maps, I don't care about clearing. And I didn't get to maps with Mayhem. I had 2 sessions that I could put in, maybe 2.5, because I wanted to squeak into level 50, right? So I sat down for an extra hour one day and got from 46 to 50. But it's a lot slower, the mapping experience, but it's busy. And I really like that. I'm fine with slow paced. But, so I wasn't going through in every instance that I was in. I wasn't going through and trying to clear the whole map, trying to get every portion of the instances. But every single instance I came across or that I saw on my map, I would go to and interact with. And as a personal rule, for example, with the strong boxes where you have 20 strong boxes, if there were 4 strong boxes on your screen, you don't do one at a time. You're doing all of them right away. It doesn't matter what's happening. And it kind of sucks when you get frozen right off the bat when you don't have that anti-freeze flask kicking around. What's it called? Heat flask? Scorching? Anyway, so I actually like that it slowed me down. I went through the acts a lot slower than I normally would, which is really slow for me. But it was so fun because things were so busy. And what was crazy is I was actually, when we did our hardcore league not that long ago, I was really surprised with how much, because I didn't do heist within that. So I wasn't given privy access to, extra loot for the sake of leveling. And I was quite impressed that I was able to go through the game and have my resistances maxed. But with Mayhem, because of all the instances you get, like the rogues and the bosses, the extra, what are they called? Invasion bosses, all the strong boxes, everything. You get so much loot that within Act 1, you're like, okay, I'm only picking up rares. You know what I mean? Like, and you're getting your sockets, that colors that you want too, that are available. So the leveling process was a lot more efficient. I was actually quite surprised, despite how busy it was, how easy it was, because they didn't change any math behind the scenes. So you are just getting so much more content that's normally carefully spaced out, and you're like over leveled like crazy.
Yeah, the over leveling was pretty nuts.
It was amazing. It was awesome. How was your Blizzard?
Delicious. Although,
what kind was it?
Dairy Queen got rid of Crispy Crunch a while back in Canada.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I live here and I don't even know what you're saying.
And that made me upset.
Okay.
Yep. I thought about writing a letter or a bug report.
They're called emails today.
Yep. I send them a tweeter.
Okay.
Yep. Reese peanut butter cups.
Now, you didn't touch Mayhem, but of course, what the different instances provided. There were just 20 of each, except for, I forget which one it was, but there was 10 of them, like tons of breaches. There were rogue exiles, invasion bosses, strong boxes, all the harbingers. All the harbingers are so cool. I love it.
What was your favorite?
For me, the invasion bosses and rogue exiles were my favorite. I absolutely I like all the content, and I like the strong boxes. I love harbingers, but I loved the invasion bosses and rogue exiles. I love bosses. Like Metamorph was just the best. But to me, with all the other types of stuff, when you add a lot of that content with the normal map, it's too busy. I can't see what I'm avoiding. It turns into luck per se. I mean, you build your character for mitigation or avoidance, right? Whether it's evasion, dodge, whatever. But at the end of the day, you have no skill involved outside of your character planning if the screen's too busy, right? I don't have the perfect computer. I don't have a perfect console. So I also have to survive with some lag, right? With some frame rate drops. And so when things are too busy, it sucks when you die. And I understand it. It's not really a complaint. But my favorite are the more difficult battles, even though they were easy because I was over leveled. But I like the harder battles when I know what's happening. Which, on a side note, is why I'm quite excited for the prospect of a slowed down PoE 2, because then I can see what's happening despite the difficulty. And so I loved invasion bosses and rogue exiles. Oh, it was so good, especially when you add like Einhart coming into the mix a little bit. Now that I'm familiar with like all the extra added chaos, what it looks like, I know what to avoid. And so when you add a couple extra mini bosses in there, so good. And I mean, they drop crazy good stuff. It's just rares nonstop. It's so nice. It was really good. What would be your favorite? You didn't play, but what do you think would be your favorite if you were to come across a map you would never get tired of that Mayhem instance or mod?
It would be Breach if you could open more than one at a time.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You can't.
Your computer would explode. So I get like why they don't let you do that.
Sure. The breach ones were the slowest for me because I'd be standing on the next one waiting for the other one to end.
That's what the problem. That's why I say if you could open them all. I'm probably on the same page as you. Like Rogue Exiles is fun because you can, for the most part, continue through. Breach, you're kind of being slowed down a little bit to do them. Even strong boxes a little bit, but Mayhem was a struggle for me because the idea behind it wasn't new. It was cool for sure. Cool idea, not new, and 1 week, not even close to long enough. No, it's actually the one thing I think that's disappointing for both Mayhem and Endless Delve. A week is just too short. Because for me, Mayhem, I feel like it would be the most fun once I was in maps. and I was not going to play. I did not have enough time, and I knew I had to pick Mayhem or Delve to try and find some free time. And Mayhem wasn't going to be the one for me. Which would you want to see go core?
But I mean, at least we understand, though, that's not necessarily a criticism. We know it's filler content just for us because the league.
It's a criticism.
It's not like it
100%. It's a criticism. It is. That's fine. We can be critical of the game and the decisions they make. I'm not saying they're wrong. I can be critical and say that I disagree. I think making a flashback league 3 weeks long and the other 2 1 week. Now, the only argument I'll say that I agree with you on with regards to that is they don't want people maybe to burn out. So they make the one that's less interesting, exciting, whatever you want to call it, the longer one. But I don't necessarily think that's a good decision, because Mayhem for me is really hard to enjoy in a 1 week. It's not even 10 days. It actually is a 1 week period. And we're going to talk about Endless Delve in a second, but how do you take the most out there idea that you've had in a very long time as a league thing and go, you got 7 days. Endless Delve. You've literally created a whole new version of the game and said you can play it for 7 days. I just think that that's a silly decision when you're going to make flashback 3 weeks long.
I wonder why, this is a little off topic, but I wonder why the original plan was only 1 day. Like, I wonder what the value would be.
What was going to be 1 day? Endless Delve?
Delve was originally planned as a 1 day event.
Really? I didn't know that. That would, what a terrible, and I'll tell you why. Right now,
that's only for people that can play every day. That's not for people like us, but we are a huge part of their player base.
Yeah, we're not unique.
No, we're not.
In that sense.
And so that's where even the 1 week, it's, for me, I'm lucky to hit 50. I probably won't have the time to play to hit 50 unless we stopped recording right now. And I also played Monday night, and I'd probably have to squeeze something in Thursday afternoon.
I think you will hit 50. Delve, I found so far the leveling to be quite quick.
Oh, I have some Delve stories for you when we're finished Mayhem. But why don't we get, so you didn't get, you know what? I got to 50. Okay. So we're on Mayhem. I know. And we are now.
Gift was ridiculous.
So I'm playing along and I can't, I'm like, wow, I'm really over leveled.
Can I just say, because I know you're going to get to it in a second and you got your 50 reward. I'm not going to say what it is. This whole week, I have wanted to call you out in Discord and be like, this piece of garbage. Did you see what this piece of garbage got? As these poor, wonderful people that are listening to us are getting like terrible decorations.
So anyway, I'm going through and I'm surprised how over leveled I am, and how even though I'm over leveled, like I'm going through the content and it's going pretty quick. My zombies and skeletons are doing well.
What'd you play for Mayhem?
My favorite zombies. And then I think I'm actually going to change this because I've been having so much fun with the concept in hardcore and in this league. I'm going to do the same for Delve, is zombies. If it was to eventually ever be a 6-link, it would actually be zombies and skeletons sharing the same support. So it would be 2 5-links in the chess piece. Anyway, so that's what I was going with. And it was a very smooth start. I mean, zombies suck. Oh my goodness. I don't get why they're a level 1 skill if they can't live. They can't take a hit. What is the point of zombies being a level 1 skill when they can't stay alive? You either got to restructure it or make it a level 10 skill or something, because I wasn't. See, now you got me all flustered. This isn't even in my Mayhem notes. I think it's, where is it? It's in my Endless Delve notes. I'll get to it in Endless Delve. So anyway, I actually was able, because I was over leveled and Mayhem just levels you so fast, I was actually to level quite quickly. And so getting to level 50, I was able to squeeze in an extra hour while the kids were upstairs hanging out and playing a game. I snuck downstairs. I don't really like gaming when they're around. I don't feel like I'm being productive with their time, with me, because one day they're going to be teenagers and hate me, and I'm going to have missed out my time because I was trying to.
You'll get over that.
Because I was trying to get to level 50. So anyway, I came down for an hour, actually got to level 50. The second I got to level 50, opened my mystery box and closed it down. Now, during the live stream Twitch event for Path of Exile 2, I got some of those cool rewards, which was awesome. And I like auras, which is neat. And so I got auras, but I got 3 or 4 of the exact same aura effect. All the time with these mystery boxes, I'm getting, the typical easy to get hideout decorations, which are probably not things I'm going to use. And so I'm getting ready to open my mystery box and commiserate with everybody else on Discord. Like, oh yeah, I got this too. You know, it's how it goes. And not a complaint. Like, it's great that you get something for free and it's cool. I open it up, I get a portal. And it's awesome
good
looking
portal.
too.
Which portal was it?
I don't remember the name. It just looks
It's
awesome.
the Nightshade portal.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's friggin' amazing. It's a great portal. It was literally even one of the ones someone called out in our Discord saying it was one of the portals they hope to one day get. And I, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I had it typed and I was like, he told me not to say anything. So I deleted my comment.
I didn't want, like, I wanted to commiserate with like the crappy hideout decoration rewards.
And instead you're shoving it in their face.
And so
Suckers.
I couldn't even say anything like, oh, look what I got, because I actually got the one thing that everybody would want.
So good.
But that was kind of funny.
Awesome though.
Anyway, so I got to 50. And now a question for you before we move on to Endless Delve. I think Mayhem's awesome. Obviously, it would need to be rebalanced in certain ways if you were to add it to the game, because like I said, it completely overlevels you. You get an insane amount of goods and items, which normally would make the campaign just pathetically easy, which is, of course, something they don't want. Do you like Mayhem? If you were to add it to the core game, I guess I should say, where would you put it?
It will never go core.
But if you were to put it core, where would you put it? Do you think it would fit in the game anywhere?
No, I don't. Do you?
I think it would be in. See, because of you would have to completely rebalance that insane influx of not just gear, but currency. Like the amount of Harbinger stuff that I had by the end of Act 2 was stuff that I don't normally have in a casual league with Harbingers. So I think it would be awesome as a private league mod. Like if you had something like Mayhem, but the only way you could play Mayhem outside of these very unique events that GG puts on, if you could have it as a private league mod and that was really the only way to play it, I think that'd be pretty cool. And it would probably also be an extra incentive. Like if you had private league only mods like that, I think that'd be extra incentive if private leagues are cheaper.
Yeah, you'd also have to make private leagues voided, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that either. But yeah, I think they could do a lot with private leagues, whether that's Mayhem, Endless Delve, that kind of stuff. But you'd have to void. It would have to be a void league where the character's going to be deleted at the end.
I think that would be totally fine with the majority, in our opinion. Yeah, totally. So we both played Endless Delve
for a little bit. Yeah,
that was pretty cool. What'd you think?
Okay, so
I've been talking lots. You go first.
Well, let me tell you. It's very unique to load that game up and be in the encampment. It's just weird to load the game up and you're there and there's no waypoint that's clickable.
That's the first thing I did. Clicked on the waypoint that wasn't even there. I was like, what? Oh, right.
Now, I started as a witch and you get...
Okay, I will 100% commiserate. I know exactly where you're going. Go ahead.
You get Fireball as your starting thing. Now,
oh my goodness.
What I didn't notice right off the bat, well, I noticed, but I didn't think of it. First off, Lanny's there and...
Lily.
Is it Lily? Okay, she's there.
Come on now.
And they start you off with 40 wisdom scrolls. Now, I didn't put 2 and 2 together at that point. So I go, okay, well, I got these unique items. So I'll equip the wand. I'll throw on that shield. I'll throw the other stuff in my thing. I'm going to link Arcane Surge with Fireball because that's what they give me. I go to the first area in the delve and I'm like, I think I died like 3 or 4 times. I couldn't beat the first area. Ethan's watching me. I'm like, this might not last. I am getting angry. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't beat the very this is the very first thing I've clicked on. And so I finally beat it. And I go back to the town and then I go and
Did you beat it with Fireball?
I did. Yep.
I had to switch.
I did. I literally just like right click like a madman trying to kill, because the very first one
Fireball's
you get,
the worst.
It's so bad. And the first one you get is a Azurite one. So it's just mobs coming from all sides. So then I go and talk to her and I'm like, oh, I guess I could have bought stuff. So once I realized that, it got better. Well, much better, much better. That first one made me go, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Like I was ready to give up.
Aside for this?
I can't even go left or right. I have to go to this one. How is this a thing? Also, screw you, GGG, for not giving me like freezing pulse or anything like storm blast, like literally anything but fireball is the very first skill. It's the worst. I don't know what the other classes get as their first one that's just thrown into it, but the witch, bad.
Yeah,
not good.
Oh, hands down. Now, yeah.
Although I'll bet you Scion gets like, oh my god.
Oh, imagine doing. Oh yeah, because it'll be the starting stuff. I'll bet you got spectral throw. Imagine
some
doing.
Poor people.
You know what they should do? They should have Endless Delve as their skill tester when they're rebalancing skills, when they're introducing skills, and you have to use those skills going through Endless Delve.
I don't want all skills to be equal though,
because Fireball's strong, but it is not good for this. Not at the beginning. Like you have to. As a witch, I got stunned like crazy. I couldn't cast.
As soon as they all come on all sides, I was like, "Well, this was fun."
I'm trying to spin around and click on it. No, dead. It was so brutal. If you can actually get the spell off, great. But that's a spell that you're definitely not leveling with Delve with. No. Now, if this was to become something permanent, maybe they would restructure starting skills. I don't know. But oh my goodness, it really got me thinking about, wow, this would be a really good way for them to test the validity of skills, even like for the leveling concept of them. You know how sometimes they don't change what a gem is at the 2020 part, but they'll change its values as it's leveling, the different levels. You know, you see that in the patch notes all the time. What a great example, like to actually test it in gameplay, because oh my goodness, it does not suit Delve at all at the beginning stage. You know what else doesn't? You'll never guess. Zombies.
I heard
level one
SRS.
skill, they cannot. Oh, SRS is amazing. You can't. And even like to rush to get to grave intentions, like the closest minion life and resist that you can get, there's 3 nodes. It's still 11 nodes away. Zombies a level 1 skill, and it can't handle the most basic damage. So for me, I couldn't even pass that first Azurite where they're just coming at you from 360 degrees. I couldn't do it with Fireball. So congratulations to you.
What'd you end up doing?
I think I died 7 times. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I know I need to stand still. I can't do the individual clicking. It's not going to happen. I'm going with an old school favorite that has slow in it. I got Blight. I ran. I clicked on the thing to start, and I just ran into a corner. I wasn't going to move.
Blight's strong. Like,
just come early. Just come.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Yeah. So, and I did it. And that's what I leveled with because zombies couldn't do anything. And so I guess not what I leveled with. I went to level 4 with Blight, but because of how long it took me to figure out that Fireball sucks for Delve, that's what's called, right? Fireball. I already spent half an hour sucking to the point of crying to myself, right? And like quitting 3 times and then reloading it later on. And so finally get Blight, get to level 4. Now I have SRS. I load my zombies up, right? Like you can't even load zombies at the beginning. You actually can't use it as a skill because you don't even have Desecrate. So you have to actually go in and kill with something else. Then you raise them. And then you're like going through, you're not trying to raise them mid-path. You're just expecting them to live until you get to your next destination. Surprise, surprise, I'm SRS only 99% of the time. Even after like I got Grave Intentions, right? Unlocked it, got it. They can't handle life.
Well, you like SRS though.
Oh yeah, I love SRS. But if you want, like, there's no point having it. Make zombies a level 15 skill or something, level 12. Whenever it is that it'll work.
They at least take away some attacks that might hit you. They're good like meat shields for a little bit, at least for 1 or 2 attacks.
But there's other skills for that. There's moving away if you're only going to do it for 1 or 2. But you know what sucks? I haven't heard anything about this, so I hope it was a one-off. 4 enemies in to my very first. I didn't even get to the point where I realized Fireball sucks. 4 enemies in, crashed.
Oh, I never crashed.
Yeah, so then I loaded again, and at that exact same spot there was a crazy like lag, total frame rate drop.
Interesting.
And then I died, but I didn't crash. Reload again, and it was fine. So
okay, so I have a question. Why did they make Endless Delve only SSF or hardcore SSF? Why is there no?
It had to do with complications with how characters interacted with Avoided League. They also had something to do with them not wanting to recode stuff. You need the prospect of hideouts to be able to team up. You can't I saw Bex explaining it on there. There were a few reasons why it had to be solo self-found, whether it was hardcore or not. And it had just with their back end stuff of how characters interacted, like they didn't want to recode the game for a 1 week event. So they just removed stuff. Then look at what's in there. Like portal scrolls are in there. They're dropping all the time. You can't use those, div cards, that kind of stuff. So they didn't even take out the things that were pointless.
Do
for the
portal
league.
scrolls actually drop? I didn't see any.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's tons of portal scrolls. I picked up. I had like 40. I was ready to go. And I'm like, oh wait, tried them. Can't use them.
What do you think of the unique items they start you with?
I didn't care.
You didn't use them?
What are they? Well, they're minions. No, I like the 3 white sockets. I think that's great. The shield had 15 life on it.
Doesn't the claw give you hatred? That would be good for minions.
Oh, maybe. I didn't even look at it.
I thought the claw had level 20 hatred or something on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
that would have been.
I thought it did. Maybe I
guess that doesn't help fireball, but I'll go back and check because I'm going to try and get to 50. Got to get another portal.
Get the other one that you can mix it with because it's one of those double up ones.
Oh yeah, and then I can combine them and make something epic. But anyway, despite the difficulty and my criticism to those couple skills, once I had Blight, once I had SRS, once I had skills that could actually delve, I went flying. I still died every now and then, but I had a really fun time figuring it out, going down, and it really changed my perception of going. Like now that we're only getting items from drops, it was nice that they kind of changed the values of your light radius, right? That would have been helpful in my hardcore game. They changed the value of like your resists right off the bat. You're not in the negatives. It's a bigger light radius right off the bat. So all of that kind of stuff was nice.
I still felt like mine was pretty bad.
It's still small, but it was all flat level and 100% right off the bat. And your resists weren't negative. One thing that I actually noticed though is normally just the nodes in the delve tree where it's just a strong box, not a strong box, but just a chest where it could be random stuff, or it's just, jewelry. Now I'm excited for those because I need gear. And so it really changes the value of certain nodes. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do see a currency one way over there. Like, the Exalt icon. But I'm like, I need my gear first. I'll come back to it. And so normally I rush to it. Right? Yeah. So I'm not even playing hardcore, but it totally changed the value of each location. And so I did appreciate that difference in mentality. And I thought it was really cool that almost my entire inventory is open. I'm only carrying wisdom scrolls. What do you normally carry when you're mapping? Not endless delve, but when you're mapping, what do you carry with you all the time? What's in your purse, your little fanny pack? Did you ever wear a fanny pack?
Wisdom scrolls?
That question's more important. Did you ever wear a fanny pack?
Not that I can remember.
That's too bad. I did. They were awesome. Okay, what did you carry in your PoE fanny pack?
If I'm doing mapping, if I have the portal scroll or the portal gem wisdom scrolls of wisdom, I don't know that I don't have much else in my inventory.
Probably a portal scroll.
Well, I said if I have the portal gem though, like if I have the portal skill.
Right,
otherwise, yes, I would have the portal scrolls.
Nothing for strong boxes or anything, Elks or Chaos or anything?
No. Not usually. Unless I'm playing something that I know there's going to be like whatever that prophecy is that there's going to be 6 strong boxes, or if I'm doing like maybe a temple that is the strong box one. I don't carry them just by default though.
Oh, okay.
Do you?
I always, so on console, it automatically, when you open up your character inventory, it automatically puts your icon in the top left. So ever since I started playing on console a few years ago, my portal is always going to be top left so that I can just hit inventory button, my portal's up, back out. And it's a really quick process, right? I don't have to do any scrolling to open up a portal quickly and move around. So I've changed my PC process to that. So in the top left, I have portal scrolls. Then I have scrolls of wisdom, because they're not wisdom scrolls, they're scrolls of wisdom. Then I have alks. I always carry 10 alks. So that any strong box I get to that's normal, especially the Arcanist ones, I can throw an alk on it. I don't carry around chaos to re-roll them. I find that normally, no matter how much I re-roll it, I'm not going to get something good anyway. So I just like to alk it, make it harder, get my percentage up, and then I go for it. And then in heist or whatever league, in this one, my 4th one down on the left was rogue markers.
Oh, okay.
Always made sure I had one, because they're like a portal, right? And I always had that there, and that's kind of my buffer, my little section that I never put back in my stash. So anyway, but it was kind of cool to go around, and I felt like I had a completely empty inventory because I only had scrolls of wisdom kicking around. So that was kind of cool. didn't fill up my inventory yet. But it's another one of those things where when you're playing only Delve, it's basically rare only. So much stuff drops. So it's nice. It was pretty cool. And I did it again. I don't even remember if I said this story or not, but it's turning into a regular occurrence while leveling that I sell items. So I go into my sell screen, like the vendor screen, and I'm going to go sell stuff, but that's also where I ID everything and I decide if I'm going to keep it or not. And while I'm leveling, I guess I'm a little bit more apathetic in my attitude. And so I'm like, oh no, I want this belt that's in my inventory. I don't have it equipped. So I'm going to vendor my belt that I have equipped, right? And because it's still technically equipped, it shows that everything's fine. I'm not getting any red if I'm getting rid of an attribute that I don't need, right? Or that I do need. So I'll vendor it because everything's fine. I'm looking, no, okay, not going to like screw over any gems that I have. And then I sell, I accept the transaction. And then I go in and I've screwed myself. I have like, there's items I can't use or gems I can't use. And it's because I still technically have the item equipped that it's not showing red when I've gotten rid of it, when I've transferred it over to the vendor screen. But no matter how many times I've screwed myself doing that, which I did again this time, I never remember. Never. I would love for them, because it's in the vendor screen, to actually show, no, this, if you get rid of your amulet, you're not going to be able to use the gems in your headpiece or whatever it is. I'd like the background to be red.
I'm curious how many people have done that, because I can say in the entire time I've played Path of Exile, I've never sold something from my equipped slots to a vendor.
Well, you should start.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
It makes things really exciting, and it really helps you appreciate the value of a scouring orb.
That claw does give you level 20 hatred skill, so that probably would be useful on a minion build.
The claw. I hope I didn't vendor it.
You just make a new witch. I'm pretty sure you get it. I'm pretty sure you start with it every time.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So
yeah,
I am curious what your overall thought is of Endless Delve so far. We're new into it. We're both relatively new into it, but we know what it is. So what's your overall opinion of it?
I like it. I think the beginning, in terms of like a starting skill and stuff, I think it does. That is something that needs to be considered. You need a delve skill to start. You like having the default skill that you would start a game with, where you're only encountering 2 enemies at a time, doesn't make sense. Especially if you're going to go through the effort and the thought of, hey, you're getting 40 wisdom scrolls at the beginning. Hey, you're getting this vendor, oh man, I loved that at the beginning of the league, every single gem was there, but they were still unlocked by the normal character level requirement. Yep. I loved that. And then they would even be grayed out if, once I got rid of the strength that I should have had, certain skill gems became unavailable to me again. They were red in the background. And I really liked that extra interaction. I wish now that I know, and I'm probably not going to make that mistake again, but I wish just from an enjoyment level that I had a skill that could handle Delve, the first section of Delve right away. And so outside of that, I'm loving it, right? Once my zombies are up and ready to go, it's fine. I have SRS to carry me. And I'm really enjoying the prospect of it. Haven't seen how the balance is of needing to balance my sulfite. Is it sulfite that upgrades your thing? Anyway, that my azurite, and then getting items and stuff. Like, I haven't actually played through too much, but so far I'm really enjoying the concept. And outside of the start, I think it's been really smooth. And the crashes. I think it's been really smooth. It'd be cool to have as a league option. I think it would be really cool, especially if it was something like, okay, this is going to be a permanent part of a core option somehow. So we're really putting in long-term effort here, long-term decision-making here. I think they would nail it. I think they would do a very good job. How about you? What do you think? Overall opinion of your level 3 character?
No, I think I'm level 12 or something. Okay, first off, what time, our time, did the league start today?
Noon. It's always noon Pacific Standard.
So it started noon our time. I want to say I got on to play around, I want to say 4:30 or 5. While I was online, which I was only online for maybe an hour, somebody hit level 90.
Whoa, in 4 hours?
I didn't even think that was possible.
5 hours? Well, Delve's new. Maybe there's way more XP.
Maybe. It just seemed
like, I mean, there was Mayhem.
The heck? And somebody had reached Delve level 250, but I think it's really cool. And I am going to play it. I'm certainly going to play it to 50.
You're not going to get a portal though.
No, I know. I'm going for a hideout decoration. I'd like a fern or a chair. That's what or like a fence post would be pretty sweet. I could use a fence post. I'll just put the single fence post up. So my I think it's first off, it's really cool being in the Delve mine and just picking where you want to go, because you're not worried about, do I have enough sulfite to be able to pick this direction, that direction? I can go sideways at any point. I don't have to be worried about it. It's really weird to me to, like you said, be focused on that's armor. I actually want to go that way. I wouldn't normally need weapons. Okay, let's go this direction. Jewelry for sure. So that it's totally different. You know, I got like a talisman one and I was like, ooh, it was garbage. But there are things that in a normal instance of you doing Delve, you just wouldn't care about, was cool. It was interesting to see. I am a little bit bummed that it's a week, because just for me personally, on just how much time I can find during this time to play is going to be pretty low. And so I don't know that I'm going to get to fully enjoy it. But let's just say it was 2 or 3 weeks. Let's say it was 2 weeks. I'm curious if you would get bored, you know, especially. And the only reason I say that is because Path of Exile in general has a lot of options. When you play Path of Exile, whether it's in standard or a new league, you can do a lot of things. You can delve, like you can be mapping. There's just so many different choices for how you might want to play the game. And Endless Delve, you're just delving. Now, it is one of the coolest ideas I've seen come out of Path of Exile as a thing in a really, really, really long time. Like it's so unique, and it's just, there's no other part of the game that you could just take that one part of it and turn it into its own thing. I can't think of too many other things where you could do that. So I do enjoy it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But in some ways I like it, and in some ways I'm not totally sure, because I love it because it's a lot of fun. It's super unique. I've never seen anything like it before. The idea of just starting off with like these unique starter items is so not Path of Exile at all, which is really cool. It's just a unique way of playing the game. But for my case, it's 1 week, which is short and hard to play. But also, if it was longer, maybe I would get tired of being in the Delve all the time. So I'm not really sure. 1 day would have been the dumbest thing I would have. I can't I can't believe that was ever an actual thought. But I'm not sure.
I would have never been able to play.
No, I would have loaded it up.
You think you there's a possibility you'd get bored quick if it was just Delve?
If it was only Delve, if you played it for 2 weeks, I feel like the potential is certainly there, because I don't know. I do like it. It is really fun, and it's really hard to say after an hour in, or, no, it was more, maybe 2. Yeah, it was about an hour. It's a little hard to say after that long in, but I could see it if it was like, I don't know. Cause I know we were talking about like, if this was a private league option and you could make, a private league that was a Delve only. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'll know by the end of this week. By the time we do our next episode, I'll have a better idea of, was it, something I could play long term. But I think it is one of the coolest ideas they've come up with in a really long time. In my opinion, way better than Mayhem, and phenomenally better than Flashback. Like, I just think it's the best idea of the 3. I think it's the one that they must have put the most work into. That's why, again, I don't understand why it's a week. Like, they're customizing unique items that you can use. They had to completely redo the game so that you're only playing within the Delve. So I don't know. I think it's really cool. I hope they don't put all this work into it and not bring it back again sometime.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure they're going to really value the feedback for the league for sure. And whatever feedback they get will definitely influence some of their changes. For me, in terms of the boredom aspect, there was a point with Fireball where I'm like, okay, I'm getting to level 50 in between the starting point and the first node. Like, I'm going to just, before I remembered that I could go and purchase whatever skill, I'm like, there's no way they would start me with Fireball if it sucked.
I thought it was going to be special. Like, ooh, does it pierce? Does it fly through enemies now?
No. Yeah. So anyway, so there was a point where I thought that I would just have to grind between the starting point and the first node with Fireball, and that's how I would get to 50 for my mystery box. But to me, Path of Exile can be just as monotonous as any game. Like the very first Assassin's Creed, for example, I loved. There was only 4 different things you could do for the entirety of the campaign. I loved it because the game interested me. Other people, where it wasn't necessarily the game that interested them, it was the possibility of being a rogue, bored the crap out of them because it was very monotonous. For me, PoE, I could see it being monotonous. Like, sure, you can change your map mods. Sure, you can do this. Sure, you can play a different character. But at the end of the day, it's the grind, no matter what. And here, for example, every single strongbox in the game, no matter what's rolled on it, is exactly the same for me. I'm clicking on it. I'm hitting my freeze flask just in case, or my anti-freeze flask, and I'm moving out of the way in case it's a Nova explosion and I was frozen. Every single one, no matter what it rolls, I'm treating it the exact same way. Heist is the exact same way. Every single door, no matter what the map mods are in Heist, I click on the door, move out of the way, and I wait, right? So no matter what variables are thrown at me, I'm treating every circumstance the same way. So to me, that type of monotony is already a part of it. And to me, staying in Delve, the excitement for me is that progress bar of XP. The excitement for me is that of leveling. That's exactly what it sounds like, I'm sure. And so I don't know. I think I could play it nonstop. Obviously, I haven't. And obviously, I'm very fresh into the league. I don't even know if I've hit double digits for my level. But I think just from how I treat the rest of the game, I don't think, no matter how monotonous it could seem, I don't think it would bore me to the point of not wanting to play, because I wanted to play PoE, but I didn't want to be in Delve. That's just me guessing.
Yeah. And so we're going to wrap up this episode, but just for the following week, and we'll talk about this next week, do you see yourself going big into the flashback league? Or are you going to play standard for 3 weeks?
Probably play standard. I'll look at what flashback is again and see if it interests me. But if it's like a different version of Mayhem, I'll probably not play it. Because I don't know. It's a really short time. I mean, we're talking about the 1 week being short for us. 3 weeks is short for me too. I don't have the time. I'll probably get in 5-6 sessions. If I put all of my free time into PoE, I'd probably get 6 sessions in the 3 weeks. So I'll probably try it, see what it's like. Maybe try and get to 50. But if it ends up being too much like Mayhem, then I'll probably not. We'll see though. We'll see. I'll probably test it. Give it a little taste. See if it tastes as good as your Blizzard that isn't Crispy Crunch or whatever it was. It's not there. What was it?
It was Reese peanut butter. It's not Crispy Crunch. They don't have it anymore.
Oh.
Stupid.
Either way. I'll give it a shot. You going to try it?
Nope. Probably not.
Oh, no, you said not. Yeah, you got your games to play. You have you have Demon Souls.
It comes out like right over Christmas. And my whole goal right now is by like the 18th or 19th to just be done with everything. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody besides game stuff. But like human beings in my area,
sure,
I don't want to see them or talk to them after that. So
I'm going to be knocking on your door the day that you don't want to see anybody. Hey, bud, remember me?
Sneak out through the garage and punch you in the back of the head.
I'll probably give it a shot to answer your question, but I'll probably be primarily on console standard until 3.13, which I'm excited for.
Yeah. Like, who wouldn't be excited for something we don't know anything about yet? I knew I could be quiet longer. All right.
It's like the staring contest. I'll never win.
Let's wrap up episode 59 of Forever Exiled, a 1-year anniversary. Thank you guys so much for listening. I am Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
We'll catch our Patreons in After Dark and everybody else in episode 60. You can find more information down below. We've got a website, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter at foreverexiled82. You can check out our Patreon link down below if you want more information about that and After Dark, as well as our Discord link. We'll see you on Discord. Catch you later.
Dang, that's so cool, man. A year. Who'd have thought, hey? Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thought 12 months later it would be a year?